Another WWE RAW in the books, and we're here to break that down with the biggest moments with you. Welcome to Wrestle Chat's Raw Review. I'm your host, the Ant-Man, and here solely to explain everything that goes into a Seth Rollins wardrobe. Michael Glavin, welcome, my man. I can see where it might be a challenge to fill up 3 hours of a Monday Night Raw with relevant content, but if you had to start this show off with a grade for Raw from last night, what do you think you would grade it?
Honestly, and this may be a controversial take, I'd give it a B+. Honestly, B+.
Yeah. That's actually what I had down for me too, a B+. Yeah, it wasn't a bad show at all. I know there's a lot of meat on the bone, but we're here to choose some cuts, here to hash out from Monday Night Raw. Much like SmackDown has done for many, many months, Raw continues to start and end their show with the hottest storyline. And for Raw, that is the Judgment Day. There's areas where this group, kind of seems to be unraveling. Then there are other times that really prove that Rhea, Dom, Finn, and Damian have the one-up on everyone they run up against. And even though Cody came out with the win over Finn last night, it still seems as though the Judgment Day had the last laugh. Michael, do you feel as though that this team can be taken down from outside forces, or is it going to take the crumbling that seems to have started from within in order to stop the Judgment Day?
As of right now, it's going to have to be chaos within that brings down the Judgment Day. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't see that happening anytime soon. When you're vetting new members, despite any type of internal discord, business is good. And, for a while, I honestly felt like the Judgment Day was floundering. Like, okay, well, what are they doing? What's the plan here? And what I have to, kind of congratulate everybody on behind the scenes is it has been a slow, steady storyline of not pulling the trigger too fast, not, really, it's not that it's uncommittal, but it's the patience to hold back and to take it as it comes. And so continually impressed with the Judgment Day, and now adding this new factor of JD McDonough. That guy is straight dollar bills. And so I'm excited to see what that storyline is that's starting to weave together with JD McDonough, because man, he's going to be awesome.
One of those dollar bill guns. That's JD McDonough. Just hit the button. Spits out the money, right? Let's move over to Trish versus Becky. This was a match originally planned for SummerSlam, and after you and I go into the show and thinking of being there for another match that is laid on top of the 4 hours that we'd already witnessed, I'm really glad to see that it was moved. However, I am a little concerned that this story has been fumbled and now it's a dog pile trying to regain control. I don't know if you can tell that I'm excited that football is back with the analogies, but on paper, there's no way to mess this up. I mean, it's a Hall of Famer, Trish Stratus. She and Lita together really laid the foundation for the women's evolution in WWE. Tell the story that you've told with her being Becky's confidant, then turning on Becky when she needed Trish the most. That's an easy story to tell, but somehow, somewhere, it seems to have gotten convoluted to the point that it felt almost like a filler match in some sense on Raw this week. Do you feel it can be salvaged, rectified, concluded even with a cage match next week on Raw?
I don't know that it can be salvaged, but I do think it can be concluded. Here's the thing, and the asterisk that we always put on these statements that I'm about to make next. We don't like to be negative on the Wrestle Chat podcast. We like to see the shiny stuff in wrestling, but here's the thing. There's a reason it was left off the SummerSlam card, and it's because it's not that nobody's doing a good job. It's not that nobody isn't showing up for work, but the reality is this has probably gone on a little bit too long. And Trish, as amazing as she is and how integral she was a part of me becoming a man, I have to recognize that she is not Brock Lesnar, and she can't disappear for weeks on end and show up and carry a storyline. And so this is not Becky's fault, but at the same time, Becky needs to realize that she's not, taking lemons and making lemonade. The reality is the storyline fizzled. And Becky, I'm sorry. Trish, I'm sorry. It's not a reflection of who you are. It's not a reflection on your work. it's just the way it is. So I'm excited to see this potentially conclude in a cage match, Monday Night Raw. I think it'll be a fun match. I'm never disappointed seeing them wrestle, but as a storyline, we just need to go ahead and wrap it up and find the next thing.
It's unfortunate, and I just thought of this, it's unfortunate that it feels like a couple of things in a row have been fumbled with Becky. Becky with a damage control and what they were supposed to or were going to do there, and then she's moved to this, and it feels really good. I mean, come on, it's with Trish and Lita. What could go wrong there? And then this kind of happens. I just hope we kind of get that back on track. Let us know your thoughts, too. Chime in with a comment on what you think about Trish and Becky here on this episode. This show is a conversation. It's not just between me and Michael, but also with you. Join in on the chat. I know I joked about you being here to explain that what Seth Rollins wears each and every week, but I did find it very interesting and very traditional that Shinsuke, the quote-unquote bad guy, walked out in all black. Seth, the quote-unquote good guy, walked out wearing all white last night on Raw. We had differing opinions on whether Shin was the right guy to pick in this battle with Seth for the world title this weekend on the Wrestle Chat podcast. It feels they're using some very traditional methods to tell this good versus bad story, and I'm not mad about that. But the big question with these two was, what did Shin whisper to Seth? So I've got a few speculations here. They were in Canada, so one possibility was Brett screwed Brett. Another one. Becky wore it better. I mean, it does look like he's raided her closet from time to time, presumably referring to the blouse that he had on. Or maybe even Shin went a little more personal. Roman is better. Do you have any speculations, Michael, on what you think that he might have whispered to Seth?
I think there is only one actual option for what Shinsuke Nakamura whispered to Seth freaking Rollins, and that is... we are trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. so
winner.
When all else fails, use internal methods to get that re-up of that warranty.
Yep.
And so, here's the thing. It's funny that you introed Seth Rollins' wardrobe like that, because as my wife and I were enjoying Monday Night Raw, and Seth was doing his entrance, I actually turned and looked at my wife and said, man, it's got to be exhausting to constantly find new wardrobe like
it has
that.
Has to, yes.
And especially being on the road and stuff. But who knows? Maybe they got somebody for that. But here's the thing: I need to come to you and to our listeners, hat in hand, knowing that I need to make amends for some things that I've said. Shinsuke was pretty on it this week, and with his attire, with his demeanor in the ring, cutting the promo in Japanese, like he was just oozing bad guy charisma. I still think there's a little bit to be built in whether he's a physical threat, just because we're still rebuilding, that movement with him. But seeing his promo really did make me excited to see what comes of that. Even when Seth's music hit and his reaction wasn't just like a scared heel or whatever, it was the annoyed heel of like, okay, here we go, and so anyway, I come to the Wrestle Chat universe hat in hand, saying that maybe I didn't call that one as well as I should have, but I'm growing more and more excited for a Shinsuke Nakamura Seth Rollins match.
Well, we're not there yet, so I am excited for this match, but we'll see what happens. Chime in and comment with your thoughts on Shin versus Seth, and let us know, and we'll share here on the show. Speaking of comments from last week's Let Me Talk to You, it was all about Cody Rhodes. We talked about what should be next for Cody. Sane Eamon 9710. I think that's how you say his name. It's just this is what I got. He said, talking Survivor Series, let's take Cody and Edge. They should be the team captains of their team. Have Bray come back and face Roman at Survivor Series. Seth face Drew, and save that Randy and Cody feud until after Cody wins the title. So after WrestleMania 40 is what we're all presuming. I don't hate any of that, especially the Cody-Randy feud. Save that to kick off maybe on the Monday after Mania. That would be pretty fun. Our next Let Me Talk to You drops tomorrow. It's all about Chris Jericho. Looking forward to that. Then on Thursday, we're going to break down AEW's Dynamite from Wednesday night. Michael, there's no shortage of drama over in AEW. You think we're going to see it result in any in-ring action, though?
Who knows? At this point, to quote Mark Calloway, it's just becoming a parody of itself. Like, every time we put a Band-Aid on, we've got a bleeder somewhere else, and it's like, how long till we hit the carotid artery on all this stuff? And it's almost, like I said, it's almost to the point where it's just annoyingly comical. And so we're gonna see how much longer it goes. But all that to say, allies are growing thin and enemies are growing substantial. And there's only so much that can happen before you get kicked out of the locker room.
Yep. We'll see what happens, and we'll talk about it on Thursday. Good to have you here on the Raw Review this week. Anything that we missed, something you want to chime in on, be sure to leave a comment on this episode. If you liked what we're doing here, make sure you click the thumbs up on this video and subscribe too. Rather than just one show each and every weekend, we're bringing you 4 shows every week now. Helping this channel grow by subscribing and sharing it with your friends would help a ton. So I want to thank you for that. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for Let Me Talk to You, where we're going to talk all about the Ayatollah of rock and roll, a Y2J, Chris Jericho. For Michael Glavin, I'm the Ant-Man, and we'll see you next time here on WrestleChat TV.